I'm Kelley O'Hara, and this is 1v1. And I am joined today by Lynn Williams, iconic goal scorer, maker-upper of Go Bats,
friend,
world-class striker, Gotham, neighbor.
Keep going.
Neighbor. What else do we have up here? Co-host of Snacks. Speed Demon. Striker, winger, Lynn Williams.
Yay!
Round of applause for Lynn Williams. All right, so I have to start off with a very intense, burning, big question.
Yes.
For once and for all, who is the pilot, who is the flight attendant, and who is the passenger? Right now, give it to me.
Okay. We let Kristie think she's the pilot, first of all.
Did we?
Well, we're going to, so she can, but you are at 1,000% the pilot.
Flying this thing. This is how you fly a plane.
I am the flight attendant.
Yes.
And Kristie is the passenger.
Good. All right. I'm glad we established that. Done and done.
Yeah.
That is settled.
Yeah.
Settled. All right. We're sitting here in pre-camp for the World Cup.
I know. What the heck?
A year ago, where was your head at? What were you thinking? How were you feeling? Because you obviously have come back from like a very intense and serious injury. And I want to know, like, do you ever sit here and think like a year ago, I was doing this and I wasn't like this. I didn't even know if this was possible. Like where were you at a year ago?
Well, a year ago to the date. So we're in July.
What is it? July, yeah.
I was 2 months
post-surgery.
Post-op. I was still just walking around like
just living life.
I know. I like couldn't run yet. I couldn't do any of the things.
Yeah, 2 months.
Yeah. So it it was tough. Like I think in my head, I obviously knew that I wanted to be here still. But with my injury, the doctors were saying that like normal people like who just like have a freak accident can like come back from this. But because my injury was so chronic and then my hamstring fell off, it was more of a like, will you still be the same power athlete that you were before? And you're like I'm a sprinter and like the way I play the game is I think so powerful that they were nervous and I was nervous if I would ever get back to top speed, would I ever get back to like who I was? And so I think that in the back of my mind, I was always like nervous about that. But luckily for me, unluckily, I guess, I've had major injuries before and I just knew what it was going to take to come back. So I knew it was going to suck like a lot, but I was like, I'm just going to try. Like, I'm just going to give it my all and hope that everything goes smoothly. But yeah, it was like scary. I was like, I don't know if this is possible, but I'm going to just try to make it possible.
Yeah. No, I get that. And what about 6 months ago? Like you've rehabbed, you're starting to play again.
Yeah. When was 6 months ago? Like January?
December? Yeah, January. Yeah, January, yes. Did you go into camp?
Yeah. So that was scary too. Like my first camp back or my first anything back was camp.
Yeah, that's really tough.
And so I was like, oh, this is going to be tough. Because I'd been training like in Australia with boys. And so part of me was like, I feel good because boys, their little feet are going so fast. But the other part
or big feet.
They're huge doinkers.
They're huge flippers.
The other part of me was like, I haven't really actually been in the environment in so long. So long that I was like nervous. So when I got into camp, it wasn't just about the soccer. It's like, when you go into meetings, when you go into everything, like you have to like train your mind to be on at all times. And I hadn't done that in a whole year.
Yeah.
So I was also nervous again to be like, what am I doing? And I joked with Lindsay in my first game back. I obviously scored, but I was like, I don't think I connected a pass like the entire game.
Stop. I'm sure you did.
No, I really don't think I did. I was like, oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
And then the ball went in the net and Lindsay was like, you scored. And I was like, I don't think I'm playing well, but like
sometimes that's all it takes. It's hard.
So I was still nervous then too, but I liked that I was kind of like thrown into the fire because I knew exactly how much I needed to go to get back to what I needed to get back to. Yeah. So yeah, I was still nervous. I was like, oh shoot, like I'm here, but I'm not like I'm not here yet.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously, what was it? 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, we get the call a day. I remember the day that we knew Vlatko was calling.
Yeah.
We like went to practice. I think all three of us, you, me, and Kristie, were like giving each other looks.
Yeah.
But like not talking about it. And then we were sitting waiting for lift, and I was like sitting on a cooler. And I think you came and sat down next to me. And you said something about it. And the three of us were standing, like sitting there, and it was just.
Yeah.
We were all stressed.
Well, I think somebody was like, have you gotten a text yet?
Oh, yeah.
And everyone's like,
say
no.
that?
Yeah. Somebody said it. I don't think it was us. I think somebody around us said it. And all of us were like, no.
And that's it. That's all we said.
Yeah. And I was like, no, don't talk. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But I could have thrown up in that moment. I was just like, I can't believe we know it's the day and we have to go to training.
Yeah, we just have to,
pretend like nothing's happening. Like, that's wild to me.
I know, it's nuts. No like window of time that we would be.
Yeah, I thought like we would get a little bit more information. Like, I think in my head, like I'm very good. I think everybody here is. You have to be like compartmentalizing.
Totally.
But if I would have known, like, okay, Lynn, you're going to get a call between 4 p.m. and...
Yeah, it would have made it so much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm going to miss the call. I'm going to be at training.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, does he know when we train?
Yeah.
Like,
somebody probably told him.
Probably. Yeah. There's a way you can find out. Obviously, it was a good call.
Yeah.
But to go back to 2019,
that
was not a good call.
Not a good call.
It was a really bad call. At what point after not making 2019 were you like, all right, that chapter's done. That's closed.
Yeah.
I'm now looking 4 years down the road. Like, did that thought process go through your mind?
Yeah, it didn't necessarily like, I don't think I jumped 4 years, but I jumped like straight back into like, how do I get back to the team? Because even though 19 was like a bad call, it wasn't like a shock because I hadn't been in a while. Okay. I was still in communication, but I wasn't getting called into camps.
Yeah.
I was still like confused at why I wasn't getting called in. But so I was like, yeah, obviously I'm not going. But in my mind, I was like, okay, if I just crumble now, then I will never get back into that environment ever again. And so in my head, I was like, okay, the team that I'm on now in North Carolina needs me.
Yeah.
Because everybody's away. So I was like, I need to continue to perform here. I need to continue to like, hopefully help the team be in a position so when they get back, we can win this championship. Like all those things came into my mind. And so I think like that's where I put all my focus. I made it a point to watch every single one of your guys' games as like hard as it was.
Yeah. It'd be so hard.
Yeah, it was devastating. I was like, I want to be out there with all my friends. But I think at the same time, I try to take myself out of it. Like I had so many friends that were going to their first World Cup. And I was like, I need to be a good friend in this moment and just support them. Like I'm still a huge U.S. Women's National Team fan.
Yeah.
So I think that like on one side, I was like devastated for myself. But at the other side, I was like, I can't stay devastated for too long. Yeah. Because then I'll never end up where I want to. So I did that. And then I turned my focus towards the Olympics. So I was like, okay, how do I get back into this environment? And then how do I get to the Olympics? Because I knew that was coming. Well, I thought it was coming quick and then obviously COVID. So yeah.
Well, you did end up going to the Olympics. And at first, like as an alternate, but then there was the COVID and whatever, they made it so that you play in a game, you're part of the team or something like that, right? And you start
shocked.
The Netherlands game. So it's quarterfinals. And I remember sitting in the meeting when he like was putting up who was going to play because he was kind of like rotating the front, I feel like 3. And he put your name up and I was like, let's go. Because you were on my side. And I was like, this is go time. Like, it's going to be great. Yeah. And you absolutely smashed that game. Like, you scored and had an assist, or a huge reason why we even were able to advance. So how did you handle, like, being like, oh, I'm an alternate. And then, like, oh, there's a potential to be, like, part of this Olympic team. And then, like, playing in a crucial match and playing and being such a critical piece of us winning.
I know. Wow. When you put it like that,
go girl.
Go me.
Let's go girls.
Let's go girls.
But it's huge. Like that takes a lot of like this.
Yeah. So I think to get to that moment, you have to like backtrack a bit. So I talk about this a lot, but like in 2019, you know, when you want something so bad, like you squeeze it and you watch it like slip through.
Yes.
That's what I felt like I was doing in 2019. And I was like, I want this so badly that like I was afraid to make a mistake. I was afraid to do anything. So then I stopped playing like myself.
Yeah.
And I felt that I was doing that like in 20. So then I get called into qualifiers, I think unexpectedly, do well there. And then I was like, I felt like I was on this trajectory to do well at the Olympics, but then we sat for a while. And I felt like I had to get myself back, but I was doing the same thing. I was like, I want this so badly that I was watching it slip away. Like I remember being in camps being like, I'm not getting the minutes I was like a year ago. I'm not getting like all these things. And so I recognized a pattern. So I went and got a sports psych.
Good.
I know. I was like, oh shoot. Like I think I got it a little late, but the reason, I think that's the only reason why I was even considered to be an alternate in the first place, because we went to Austin. I can't remember who we were playing. And I got in like the last 5 minutes of the game. And I was like, you know what, Lynn, you got to show in this 5 minutes everything you can possibly do. So I was like, I ran, hunted down the ball, passed it, got it, and then I scored. And I was like, that's everything I can do in the 5 minutes of time. Yeah. And I feel like I don't do that unless I have the sports psych to get my mind there. So then...
And you don't have the sports psych unless you recognize the pattern that you had. Yeah.
So then fast forward to the Olympics, obviously the call was like bittersweet because it was like, you're not cut, but we also don't want you. So I was like, sick. Cool. Cool. I'm coming.
Okay. I'll be there. Pack my bags.
Yeah. And I think that there was a lot of talk about like the roster is going to get opened up, but we didn't even really find out until being in Miyazaki.
Yeah, was it then? It was like either right before we left or...
No, because I like got to Miyazaki and I was like, I still don't know the rules.
Oh, wow.
I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
But so everybody's like, you need to be prepared to possibly play. And I was like, what are you guys talking about? But in my head, I was like, you know what? I have to make it so... I have to be so good that our back line is so good. So like, if Crystal sees a fast forward, she knows what to deal with. If I'm going to be the best jumper, like I was like, I'm going to do all these things so our backline can be the best backline in the history of backline.
Yes.
And so I think that allowed me to stay in the moment and not like think about the next thing.
Yeah.
And so when he like put my name on the board, like, thank God we had masks on because I was like, what? Like,
so funny. Yeah, I think I remember you telling me that.
I was like, what?
You're like, oh.
Yeah, because he was like, okay. Because before that, I had just played against Australia. I had a quad injury, remember? Like, I had a quad injury. And then
the high quad. Like, you got to do something about that.
And I was like, I just got to guess play.
What?
And I got into the Australia game. And it was the game where we were just kind of like walk shifting.
Oh, yeah.
I got in there for like 10 minutes. And I was like, not my dream Olympic debut, but I'll take it.
Yeah, like it counts.
And then I thought I was going to be done forever.
Totally.
Like I was like,
okay, we made it through.
Yeah, like I'm considered an Olympian, but whatever.
Yeah.
So when he put my name on the board, I was like,
you're like, oh no.
Oh gosh.
Behave.
Yeah, exactly. Work with me, girlfriend.
Let's go,
girls. Let's go, girls. And so then I was like, okay, like I've been preparing for this. Like I have been working, in my opinion, against the best backline in the world. So like,
you felt ready.
I felt ready. Yeah, I just felt like, okay, it's time to be ready. And maybe not having fans also played into that. I don't really know. But I was like, I'm just going to stay in this. Like, what does the team need me to do?
Exactly. Well, you did, and it was huge for us.
Yeah.
So you've been in Olympics, you've scored in Olympics, you've assisted in Olympics. This is your first World Cup.
I know.
You've been on the team for a while. You're obviously like a legend in the league. Do you feel like you're a veteran and like a leader on this team?
Yes and no.
Oh, I was wanting you to just say yes.
I feel like you are. I feel like no, because I just haven't like world championed it yet. Like this is my first roster and I recognize that.
That's fair.
But yes, in the sense that I'm not new to this environment. I'm not new to the game. I feel like I feel good mentally right now where I'm like, I know what it takes to get this done. I also feel that sometimes you grow the most when you don't succeed. I'm not going to call it a failure because I don't think that it was.
Just a little obstacle, a little bump in the road.
Yeah, and so I think that like being at the Olympics and not getting the gold and like having so many issues, I'm like, I am a veteran to know what not to do.
Yes, that's true.
So sometimes I feel like we grow in those moments. So so like yes and no.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I still look to you and be like, Kelley, help me. But I do feel like I'm like more veteran than some of the people here.
Yeah. No, for sure. Well, moving into like World Cup stuff, in terms of like, there's obviously a vast array of strikers on this team.
Yeah.
Like, where do you feel like you fit in? Like, what do you think your greatest strength is that you bring to this like unit of strikers?
Yeah. We got like some speedy people these days.
We do, which is great.
I think that like I have a huge like engine like, and will to not let anybody score on us.
Yeah.
So no matter what it takes, I'm gonna like make that extra run to like get the ball back.
It's huge.
Yeah. So I think that I also like I feel like I can play in different positions. I've been able to go to like the left, the right, and the middle.
Yep.
And also playing at Gotham, that was really helped develop that. And I feel like just like more confident. So like if I have to give some information to somebody who's younger, I can do that.
Yeah.
So I guess I feel veteran in that way. But then I also feel like because I've had to live into other roles that I don't necessarily love, I know how to do that. So if I find myself in that position again, I know how to like live into that, and I will be somebody's biggest cheerleader.
Be successful.
Yeah.
The transition from like league play to World Cup has been very quick.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? Like, have you had to do anything in terms of like any changes to prepare to be like ready for World Cup, or do you feel like you're just like, nope, we're just gonna keep going,
keep it on? Like soccer wise,
in general. I feel like this has been such a like we've gone like we literally were in club, played a club game, got on a flight the next day. Well, crazy, a crazy flight, but and we're here.
Yeah.
Whereas in years past or tournaments past, we've had time to like decompress or like spend time with family, and haven't gone straight into this environment. So I think that, and then like we're once we're here, and obviously we got a little bit of time to decompress, but it's like full steam ahead of just like blinders on, full focus.
Yeah, I mean, I think that for me personally, I'm somebody who loves to just get right back into it. And then when we're done, we're like, I'm going to take a huge rest.
Like, how many days off do we get?
I know. I'm going to be taking my full months. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, I'm like happy that we're like just back into it. Because I think that when you get out, getting back in is like hard. But it's like a whole different beast. Like the NWSL versus the national team is two completely different entities almost.
Yes.
Like with the NWSL, it's a very, even though you have different teams, it's like a similar style of soccer no matter what team you're playing.
That's true.
Versus here, it's like you're going to face Vietnam that's like very different than the Netherlands. It's going to be very different than Portugal. So trying to like wrap your mind around all of that, I think is where I enjoy just like continuing to go through, because if you take a second off, I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Are there any teams in the tournament that you're, I don't want to say afraid of, but it's like part of the question, afraid of?
Not necessarily afraid.
I love it. Good answer.
Not afraid at all.
Yeah, good.
I think that like, I think I saw an interview where Alex said this, and I agree. Like, this is going to be the best World Cup that we've ever had.
Yeah, for sure.
I think just like soccer in general, women's soccer has grown crazy in the last 2 years even. So I'm not necessarily afraid. I just think it's going to be like harder than it's ever been, which is more exciting than it is like afraid.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's grind time.
Yeah,
go
baby.
time.
Let's go, girls. How many times can we reference the shirt? Okay, you allegedly you said on Stacks you expect to see a 5-3-2. Are you sticking to that? No? Okay, you don't think we're gonna do it?
Honestly, I think anything is possible.
That's true. That is the reality of a World Cup. Yeah, anything is
literally
possible.
Anything is possible. I, for some reason in my heart of hearts, feel like at some point we might do. I'm not saying we start the game like that, but we might.
Yeah. I mean,
we could get into that formation.
Honestly, hopefully we do, because it means you're up.
Exactly.
And you're like, you know, preserving a win.
Lock it down.
Let's go, girls. Okay, I want to take a second to shout out Ally for their continued investment in helping to change the game for women's sports and making conversations like this possible. So, in the heat of the moment on the field during the World Cup, who are you looking to on the field as your ally of like, they've got me?
You.
Oh, really? Let's go, girls. Okay.
I feel like we do that in Gotham too.
We do a lot.
I'll be like, Kelley! And you're like, come on!
I look at you, I go, we need a goal. And you're like, okay.
And I'm like, okay, you keep staying in it. And I'm like, I am.
Okay, off the field, like in the downtime, who's your ally?
Oh, Crystal and her baby.
Oh, Marcel.
Marcel.
Sweet Marcel.
Crystal will.
Little dumpling Marcel.
Fun fact, everybody. Crystal will knock on my little door at 8:30 in the morning.
Oh, it was like PM? That's kind of late.
I go,
ma'am,
you haven't even texted me. And she's like, wake up, the baby's up. And I'm like, I'm not.
I'm not. I don't have a baby, so I don't have to get up right now. I love that. Marcel. He's cute. I know he is. Great answers. Love those answers. All right, rapid fire.
Okay.
Okay. Can we settle the score? Who's the fastest on the team?
No idea.
You don't know?
I think there's
top speed.
I think there's fast and then there's quick.
Okay, well, like, who's actually the fastest out of, like, you, Trin, Soph? Do you know top speed?
I don't know, but I feel like it would be between me and Trin.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know.
So you're faster than Soph?
I think so,
okay.
But I don't look at everybody's numbers.
Okay, well, who's faster, me or you?
Definitely you.
You're so kind to me. Oh my God. It's like, why even try? Why even try? Okay, what's the weirdest thing you packed for Australia? Or most interesting? Weird kind of has like a negative connotation, huh?
I know. I don't think I've packed anything. Oh, I guess I packed like, Alyssa was giving me a hard time for this, but like I packed 2 pair of boots, like nice boots.
Like lace-up boots?
Yeah, like Prada and Ganni boots.
It's going to be cold down there.
I was like, I might need these.
You got to look good.
What if we have an off day?
Yeah, Marley's going to be there.
Yeah.
Get ready with me. Boots in Australia. New Zealand.
Booting around.
Booting around. All right. Does Marley have any advice for winning Big Brother that is applicable to winning the World Cup? I would love to know.
Oh.
Should we ask him? You should ask him if you haven't
yet. He'll keep saying to me, like, enjoy every moment, soak it all in, like, really stay in it. So I think, like, yeah, that.
Yeah.
Because he's like, you're never going to get this experience back. So don't, like, take yourself out of it. Like, just stay in it.
I love that. Would you say that's the best piece of advice you've received, like, through this process?
Yeah, probably.
Love that.
I love him so much.
I do too. All right, Vanderpump.
Yes.
Who's the messiest?
Oh, what's his face?
Sandoval.
Yeah. Sandoval. He's the messiest for sure. And Raquel.
Yeah, either or.
They're both messy as hell.
Agreed. Messy as hell. Okay. A Go Bat celebration. Would you bust it out at the World Cup?
Oh my gosh. I start walking around.
I feel like you, like...
I don't know. Maybe.
It might just be like...
It might come natural.
Yeah, I was about to say. It might just happen.
Might just happen. But if I do start doing this, will you join?
Obviously.
Because that's just like... It could be anything, you know?
It could be like fly, eagles fly.
Exactly. It could also be like...
The bats.
Go bald eagles.
More stately and important bird relative. All right.
What are birds also known as? Like, what's their like... You know, cats are like felines. What are birds?
Avian?
Go
avians?
Go aviators.
Aviators, yep. All right, Lynn, this has been fun. Thanks for coming on. I'm proud of you. I'm excited for you.
I'm excited for you.
You're going to crush it. And
can you believe we're doing this together?
I know, I'm so happy.
Me too.
So happy.
Go back, girls.
Go back, girls. Let's go, girls.
Let's go, girls.